Now, with Sunak flying to Japan to meet with G7 deputy leaders, Oliver Dowden and Angela Rayner faced off at PMQs for the first time earlier today. And in a brilliant debut for the new Deputy Prime Minister, there was one line in particular that brought the House of Commons down.
But if she wants to talk about this sort of thing, we all know what's going on with her and her leader. It's all lovey-dovey on the surface. They turn it on for the cameras, but as soon as they're off, it's a different story. They're at each other's throats. Mr. Speaker, they're the Phil and Holly of British politics.
And much like Rayner being left to face the music, Holly rushed off from her presenting duties at this morning to meet King Charles at a reception at Buckingham Palace earlier. And by the looks of her incredibly awkward exit live on air, the invitation could not have been more welcome.
Right.
Is it time?
It's time. She's been summoned. Her carriage awaits, although it is a motorbike. And it's time for you to head to Buckingham. You've got all your stuff. Have you got your stuff?
Yes, I've got all my stuff, got all my bits. I'm off to the palace, to the Prince's Trust, to go and introduce the winner yesterday to the King himself. So I'm going. Be good. Don't be naughty.
I'll do my best. Happy to hold the fort.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, goodbye now. Goodbye.
Say hello to Saran Jones and save me a piece
of cake. Don't forget, it's Your
Majesty.
Your Majesty.
That may not be the last time we see a separation between Holly and Phil, because in a bombshell revelation on The Sun's front page, the paper says ITV are planning a summer shake-up of This Morning, with scandal hit Schofield in the firing line to be axed while Holly keeps her job. So, Carol McGiffin, you're a recent departee from ITV Daytime. Do you think Phillip Schofield is going to be the next one following you out the door?
Oh, God, I mean, it's a really good question. I'd love to know the answer to it. But I do think that, you know, ITV will do whatever they can to keep him there for some reason. I do not know what that reason is. I've never really worked with either of them.
You've been on the show a lot.
I've been on the show a few times.
Were they nice to you? Was he nice to you?
Well, Holly wasn't there when I went on to be interviewed about my book when that came out in 2010.
What about Phillip?
Phillip was there, but he wasn't very nice, to be honest. He was very...
That's not a shock.
He treated me as though it's like, oh, another loose woman with another book, and I kind of get that, but it was just like he was so not interested. It was a struggle, and I was giggling, actually laughing, because I just couldn't believe he was being so bloody rude. But anyway, that's the only kind of experience I've had with him. But I've heard a lot of stories about him being rather unpleasant to a lot of people, especially a lot of people who were kind of, you know, further down the food chain in TV. So I don't know. I tend to think nothing will happen. Although, having said that, for those two, they so clearly don't get on anymore.
Yeah.
And I know they used to, but I don't know why one of them doesn't just
It's awkward now, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty cringe.
They want to go, and they've been there for so long. They can't possibly need any more money, either of them. So, I mean, you know, give it up. You've had your time. Make way for somebody else who people actually like.
He's got his wines. Has anybody tried his wine?
No.
No.
No, I haven't.
No.
Yeah,
Wine?
Exclusively at one supermarket chain.
I will not be selling that in my pub.
Adam, you're not a fan of Phillip Schofield?
Not at all.
Why?
I mean, I grew up with the man on TV, but it's you know, I've got friends in the media like yourself, you're in the media, and no one's got a good word to say about him.
No.
They've all said exactly what you've just said. He's quite a nasty sort of man to certain people, and I don't like that. I don't like to hear of people talking down to people and being rude. And then there's the rumours that are online, which I won't talk about. And, you know, he's just surrounded by this bad energy, I think, and he needs to go. I mean, he's been on there so long. He must have tens of millions of pounds. I think it's time to retire, Phil.
Exactly. Do you know that kiss that they just did when Holly went off to go and see the King? I thought that was even more cringy than the hug through the plastic
it's so fake,
during
isn't
the
it?
COVID
Yeah.
thing. It's just one of those things where you just want to be sick. It's
Get
horrible.
Alison Hammond on there.
Such
She's
good
fantastic.
Acting.
I
It's
like
not even
Alison.
good
Move it back to
acting
the Albert
anymore.
Dock, I say. It hasn't been the same since it left Liverpool. You know, we saw
Bring
Liverpool
back
shining
Lady
this week.
Judy.
Well,
Old school, well, at least they actually like each other.
absolutely.
Exactly.
No, I mean, I think...
What do you think?
I don't think this can go on.
No.
I don't think this can go on for ITV. I mean, look, It's the old Alistair Campbell school of crisis management, right? You can only last a certain number of days.
Yeah.
This is escalating like a snowball. The fact that the Deputy Prime Minister raised it in Parliament today, every single person knew what he was speaking about. Every single person knows about the internet rumours that Adam Brooks is referring to. Actually, this
His brother being a paedophile doesn't help either. You know, it just fuels more sort of hatred.
I produced a lot of daytime television, including with some of the loose women over the years. And, you know, the whole thing about daytime is... Sadly, Carol, we've never worked together until tonight, but a partnership is born. But, you know, the whole point of daytime is warmth. You're inviting people into your home, literally, to have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea with you. And when it's got to this level... They're your friends. And when you've got to this... When you're not friends with the person sat next to you on the sofa and you've got to that level of cringe, it's over.
Especially when they've got such good standing. Again, I keep saying it, Alison Hammond, I watch it, she makes me smile. Like, if I'm watching that and not GB News...
I know he'd never leave us, but what about our Dan, you know?
Please, as if I'm not going anywhere. But, look, I think when it comes to Phillip Schofield's brother, of course, we do have to make the point he's been sentenced on Friday. Phillip claims that the brother didn't tell him the full story about what was going on. So I just want to make that clear.